Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is a response to Jay Smith of P-Founder Films in regards to his video titled Muslims Need a Bigger God. I am not intending to address the blasphemy. I'm not intending to address the fact that there have been religions before Christianity that have the concept of God becoming man. But what I'm going to address is the logic behind God becoming man. The word become means to enter or assume a certain state or condition. That is the definition of the word become. It can also be defined as undergo a change or development. So basically, when you're using the word become, it means you're leaving an earlier state and becoming something else and assuming a new state. It means that you have ceased to exist in your former state. Now you are existing in a new state. For example, if you put an ice cube, or you pick up an ice cube with your thumb and your forefinger and drop it on a table under room temperature and come back in 2 hours, you will not be able to pick up that ice cube with your forefinger and your thumb anymore. You're going to have to scoop it or pour it. Why? Because that ice cube has become water. It is the same substance, but in a different state. But there is no other ice cube anywhere hiding. It is the same ice cube that has turned into water. Another example, if a child is born today, or let's say 2 months ago, still a baby, still an infant, cooing and crying when they want to eat and crying when they want to go to the bathroom or when they want to defecate or whatever. When you come back in 20 years, that baby will no longer be a baby. If it was a male, the baby would have become a man. Mind the word become. So when you come back in 20 years, you will not be able to sing lullaby to that individual. It's the same individual. You will not be able to change diapers or whatever, or sing to the baby. The baby will no more be cooing. You'll be hearing a deep voice. Why? Because the baby has become a man. For those that are science oriented, you walk into the lab. You get an acid, say for example hydrochloric acid, and you add it to, let's say, sodium hydroxide. In the right proportions, that mixture will become, mind the word again, become salt and water. In this case, salt and water. In this case, and the salt would be sodium chloride. Alright, so your base and your acid mixture has become salt and water, and that liquid is not corrosive anymore. So that is what become means. So when you tell me that God became man, it means that there is no other God but that man. That the only God that exists is that man if God did become man. So there is no other God but that man. But is that true? When we open the Bible in Matthew 27 verse 46, it is recorded that Jesus allegedly said, my God, why have you forsaken me?" If there is no other God but that man, who is the other God that he is referring to? Mark chapter 12 verse 29. Here he is speaking of another God. "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." Referring to another God. but there's supposed to be no other God but that man if God became man. Mark chapter 14, verse 32. Here Jesus is recorded to be talking to his disciples and telling them, "Sit here while I pray." These are just a few of the examples. There are numerous examples in the Bible. Sit here while I pray. So, who is this God praying to? If God becomes man, and we have illustrated that for you to become something else, it means that you no longer exist in your former state. Now you are beginning to exist in a new state. So Christians, J. Smith, whoever else thinks this way, the only other option for you is that God created that man. And of course, when you start believing that, you have left the fold of Christianity and you have become a Muslim. Welcome home. Assalamu alaikum.